right, lesson 3, empirical probability and odds. Empirical probability is probability that's based on past observations, records, or experiences. So, for example, in the past 5 years, 89,500 people out of 90,000 with skin cancer have been cured. Based on what we've seen on the numbers, if someone contracts skin cancer this year, what's the probability they will be cured? Well, that is just going to be 89,500 over 90,000, which reduces, and remember I showed you how to do this in your calculator. You can just type this in as a division problem and then hit math, fraction, enter, and it will reduce it to 179 out of 180. So really good probability that you would be cured of it. Okay? What's the probability it will rain tomorrow? Okay? This is a little bit tougher. Okay? And, if you ever watched a weather report, you know how often they're wrong. Okay? There's many factors. Okay? That can change the weather on a dime. Like, an hour before the storm is supposed to hit, one thing can change and suddenly it moves north or south. So, we're going to base it on, in the past, it has rained, that's an R, 150 out of 160 days, like tomorrow. Based on what we think tomorrow is going to be like. Okay? So, that's 150 over 160, or if you reduce it, just 15 out of 16. So, based on the previous 160 days, there's a 15 out of 16 chance that it's going to rain tomorrow. But again, we're basing that on the past. Now, odds. Odds are a comparison of the probability that an event will occur, okay, to the probability that it will not occur. It's a relationship between the two. Okay? And if you think about it, in the past, we've done ratios and we've done fractions like 1 out of 2. We said 1 to 2, and we said 1 to 2, like that. Those are all equivalent. Okay? That's the relationship of 1 to 2. Okay? This is the relationship of will to not. All right? And this is the will. Okay? So this is the yes, and this is the no. The odds against are the no to the yes. Now, we're going to use colons instead of fractions or the word to. Okay? So we're going to say, for example, 3 to 1. All right? So, what is the probability? Now, we're talking about probability here, back to what we've done before, of the Cardinals winning a game if they win 21 out of 25. Well, it's just simply, that fraction, 21 out of 25. Okay? The wins, the event, out of the total. So remember, when we're talking about probability, we're dealing with the total. When we're dealing with odds, it's the wins and the losses and the wins, the yeses and the nos. Okay? So, in this case, the odds and in favor. So you got to look at that. Of them winning. These two are got to be tied together. In favor does not always mean winning. Notice down here, number 7, we're going to look ahead. We can have in favor of losing. Okay? That's not the same thing as betting against your team. You're just saying, I believe they're going to lose. So what are the odds they are going to lose? So it's not about positive, negative, you like them, you don't like them. It's just, what are you in favor of? What do you think is going to happen? So that's what you got to get your head around. So if they win 21 games out of 25, well, if they win 21, that means they lose 4. Therefore, if we're talking about in favor of winning, that's going to be the wins first and the losses over here. So 21 to 4. Now, what are the odds against them winning? Okay, so odds against means we're just switching those two. We're putting the losses first. Okay, we go the opposite direction. So it's winning, but that means losses come first. So that's 4 to 21. And you don't have to put the W in the L. I'm just doing that for notes. What are the odds against them winning? If they only win 3 games out of 9. If they win 3 games out of 9, that means they lose 6. So again, we're going against winning. So we put the losses first, and we put the wins second. And in this case, we would reduce that to 2:1. 4 and 21 did not reduce. 21 and 25 didn't reduce. But 6 and 3 do. Now, 7, the one we talked about before, going the kind of an opposite, kind of a twist on it, in favor of losing. If they only win 2 games out of 11, which means they lose 9, okay? But if we're in favor, we're talking about the first thing, losing, that means losing comes first and winning comes second. So that's why I put this arrow, because these two are tied together. Okay? Number 8. Probability, now we're back to probability, of a randomly chosen student in class having his homework is 3 out of 28. What are the odds in favor of him having it? Well, we got to go back and do the math. Having his homework 3 days, that means 25 he did not. So odds in favor of him having it. So in favor, what comes first? Having it. That's 3. And second is not having it. So this is have, and this is have not. All right. 9. Same question. What are the odds against him having it? All right. So against him having it means we're switching it, and that's going to have the not first and the having it second, like that. 25 to 3. Last couple. If the odds against a horse winning, so against winning, are 5 to 1, what's the probability the horse will win? So now we know against winning, that means winning comes second and losses come first. Probability means, remember, we need the total, which in this case is 6. So that means our bottom number is 6. What's the probability the horse will win? We come over here and look here. It's 1 out of 6. If the odds in favor of him winning are 13 to 6, in favor of winning means winning comes first, losses come second. We still need the total, which is 19. So what's the probability they will win? We look at the wins over the total. And that's it.